Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Sagay. I am here today with Mrs. Colleta Odero Otieno from Kenya, Nairobi to be more specific, Kenya. She is the president and founder of an incredibly growing furniture rental company called Upscale Furnishing Rentals. Colleta, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Patrice.
Wow, this is incredible. First of all, Colleta has completed biblical entrepreneurship in Kenya. She's also currently in the BSA or Business Success Accelerator Group Coaching Program. I have the privilege to be coaching her, myself, and Frank. Colleta, born and raised in Kenya, Nairobi, an entrepreneur, a believer, and just have a job creator, by the way. You know, we believe here in job creation. She's a job creator. And by the way, Colleta, a happy Women's Day and Women's Month.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you very much.
So I want to talk with you today about your business, your experience in biblical entrepreneurship, that journey, and your vision. Now, first of all, when we think of upscale furnishing, most Americans don't necessarily picture Africa or even Kenya. So let's first demystify the myth for a minute, because a lot of our audience are Americans. And so what do you say to those folks who say, well, I didn't know that upscale furnishing, that there was a market and a business in Africa, especially Kenya, for upscale furnishing? What would you say?
Yes, there's a company, there's a firm, there are people in Africa that can help you settle without having to carry your furniture from wherever you're relocating from. So basically what Upscale does is that we offer rental services for domestic furniture, for expatriates, mainly those who are relocating to a new country, relocating to Kenya, as we look forward to expanding our wings. But now we are majorly based in Kenya. As they come in, most of the times they come without their furniture. Some of them come shipping their furniture. So during that period that they're still waiting for their furniture to arrive, we give them the comfort of having a home away from home. We give them a home experience. They can still be at home and have rental furniture that no one really needs to know that it's rental furniture. And so it gives them the comfort, it gives them the convenience as they wait for the furniture to come in. And for those who do not want to buy at all, then you rent for the period that you're here. And when you're leaving, you don't have to go through the hustle and the bustle of selling it off at a throwaway price, or having to, like during the period for COVID. I mean, COVID just happened, pop. No one was expecting it. We didn't know at what time we're going to go through the lockdown. So you can imagine if you had come in and you invested in furniture and somehow you have to go back to your country, then what? So Upscale gives you the peace of mind that you can rent it. And if you have to leave abruptly, all you need to do is a phone call to Upscale, a phone call to Colleta and team, and we shall come and collect, and you move away happily and freely, having not to think about having left your money tied up in furniture in Kenya. You'd have lost money.
So Colleta, so let me make sure I understand. So
Yes.
For those of us who from Europe, from America or Asia, who travel into Africa, specifically in this case, Kenya.
Yes.
And we obviously do not bring our furnitures with us, right? Whether we're traveling for a short trip or long trip, because
Yes.
the cost and the expense of bringing all that furniture with us. We are used to a certain furniture, certain standard, a certain quality. We want to experience that while we are there. But the concern is, if I come to Kenya, I'm only there for 30 days, 6 months, 3 months, a few years. I don't need investing in furnitures then I would have to sell it when I leave. So what you do is you make sure that if I come, I just bring my briefcase and my suitcase.
Yes.
I don't need my furniture. When I get there, your company will supply me with rental
Yes.
furnitures so that
Yes.
I can have the same quality and luxury I'm used to without
Even
having
better.
to own. I'm sorry?
Yes. Even better.
Even better, without having to own the furniture. So when I'm ready to
No.
leave, I just call you, you pick it up, and I go
Yes.
ahead.
Oh, yes.
Wow, that is neat. I mean, that is neat. Now, so do you do that only for apartments and housing? What about for businesses?
We don't do much of office rentals, very little of office rentals. We prefer to do home offices. We have leaned more on home furniture.
Okay,
But
okay.
we also do it to the film production companies whenever they have to stage shows, or for whatever reason, advertisements, for whatever reason they're doing what they're doing, because they do not have to own furniture for film production companies. Depending on what you're staging, then they can come have the furniture for a few days. And we have some of them who come to us for a few days, for a few hours, and they return, because you can rent for the shortest or the longest period. You can rent for hours or even for a day, for months, for years. It all depends on how long uh, the client wants to have the furniture. And
Oh,
also for real estate, for show houses, you don't have to invest in furniture and then force the last client to buy the show house plus the furniture. You don't have to worry about that. We'll come and set it up to your taste. When you're done with selling your units, we take it back. If you want to have it, buy it, then we shall sell it to you. But it takes away the headache of having to set it up and then getting to sell it at the end of it all. Because if you buy and set it up, at the end of the sale of the units, where do you take it? Yeah. And
I love it.
also to Airbnb, we have a few people, I have seen it practically, when people get into the business of Airbnb and they get furniture from their homes, they take their dining tables, their coffee tables, they take their children beds and their own beds and sleep on the floor and call that business. So they don't have to go through that. They just have to come to us. We will set it up for them. When they're done with their Airbnb or whenever they want to change the pieces, we can change at no cost.
Wow.
Just if someone comes in and you're given a cream lounge suite, and the next person comes in and they says they want orange and black, we can easily do that at no extra cost.
I love it. So in a sense, I mean, when I'm hearing you talk, I'm thinking peace of mind. Like
Yes,
you're gonna give me. I mean, moving into a new country is tough enough.
yes,
Different
it is.
culture, maybe even language, geographic, different kind of value system. You
Yes.
saying leave the furniture to us. You don't have to worry about the furniture part.
Yes, actually, Patrice, what we sell is not really furniture rental. What we do is we offer convenience and peace of mind through furniture rental.
I love it.
So they don't have to worry. Just come, call Colleta. And a lot of times I just need to understand what someone needs, even on phone. Just how many bedrooms the person has. Do they have children? Are they girls? Are they boys? And because you don't want a situation whereby you arrive with pink curtains and yet it's a baby boy, you know. So you just get the data about your client and set up. And a lot of times we have set up and clients didn't have a problem. They didn't complain. But whenever they came and they found that we did not give them what they wanted, we are always very flexible. We will change.
Oh wow, I love it. You almost so it seems like it's more than just, as you said, furnishing, because you're helping me not just have the furnishing I need. Anybody can do that, but you're helping me also make a decision as to what kind of furnishing I would need that suits my needs and what I'm trying to do in that particular country.
Yes, especially for long-term clients. I mean, for people who are here for 1 year or 2 years, that's a long time, Patrice. You don't just want to give someone a piece, the pieces that we have. So if they came to our show house and they didn't like what they found, they preferred a certain piece that they saw in a shop somewhere. All you need to do is tell us where that piece is. We shall agree. Once you are agreeing to pay what needs to be paid for that particular piece, we shall deliver. So we customize for long term. We can customize to the taste and style of the client.
That is neat. So, how did you get into this business? What led you to why furniture? First of all, why entrepreneurship? Why furnishing rental?
Um, Patrice, that's a very it. I have so many answers for that question. It can take a whole day. I'll try and summarize. I think I was born an entrepreneur, but I didn't know because all started by working for some two dentists in town as a receptionist. And during that time, I used to live with my mother. I could go buy mangoes, make juice, sell to my neighbors, and the excitement of making an extra coin. Remember, I was using electricity and water and sugar, which didn't belong to me. It all belonged to my mother. But I enjoyed doing that. I used to teach maths and sell way back in the 90s. And I didn't know that that was in me until much later after I worked for my former employer for 12 years. And we were basically doing the same thing. We're in the furniture rental business. But after 12 years of diligently working for this company, I think I was tired. I just needed to go and rest. I resigned to go and rest. I needed at least 4 months just to sleep and relax because for so many years, for about 4 or so years, I had not gone on leave. So I was a bit tired. And so I resigned. They got people to take my place. And while I was out there, a friend of mine used to have a retail shop for furniture. So I opted to help her as a hobby because I was not into being employed or any business. When I left my employment, Patrice, I was not going to start a business. I didn't even think of myself as an entrepreneur. But I think there's beauty in hanging around the right people. I was hanging around this lady that believed in me more than I believed in myself. I have a tendency of spending time with women who are older than me. And I think that has really helped me navigate through life because I'm a bit sober how I face life. And I think I picked from these older women that I have hung around. So after helping my friend in the retail shop for some time, um, there's a client who had contacted her about furniture and they didn't want to buy, they wanted, because she was selling furniture, it was a retail shop. She used to import furniture and sell. So this client asked if they could rent. And since I had the expertise, I helped her sort out that. So when the next person came, she was not willing to take up a certain amount. So I had this client and I told them that this is the scenario. My boss, actually, we made it look like she was my boss. So I told the client, my boss is not willing to take up this because she feels the amount is too little. So he told me, he listened to the story. Then he asked me, Colleta, why don't you start this? I said, no, I can't. I don't have the capital. He said, no, you can do it. I said, I can't. Then I told the lady, this older woman, the story. She listened to me and she said, Colleta, you have the skills. That's all you need. I said, okay, so how do I go about this? I need capital to buy the furniture and rent it out to these people. How am I going to go about this? She told me, don't worry. I sit in a bank board. I will talk to them.
Wow.
I said, what? Then I talked to my mother and she gave me a title deed for a house. And I started saving a long time. Somebody introduced me to the stock market. So I used to buy shares. So also my shares acted as part of security for the bank, for the loan that the bank gave me. And that is how I started, because this woman encouraged me, and this potential client told me, go for it. And then he told me, you know what, Colleta, you're asking for 3 months deposit and 3 months rent. I will talk to my finance director to give you 6 months upfront. Patrice, talk of being at the right place at the right time. So when God has ordained something for you, he makes it happen. So God was in it. He helped me through it. And
Wow.
that's how it all began.
Here's what I'm kind of hearing. So you were first faithful, whatever you did. You were faithful. That's important to keep in mind.
I
And
was faithful.
and then you were hanging around the right people. That's what I heard, and on the right people. And the Lord used those people
Yes.
to encourage you because they saw more in you than you saw in yourself.
Very true.
Right. And that orchestrated and encouraged you towards your destiny. But then you also talked about how you had been saving and investing. So
Yeah.
you had some foundation.
Yeah.
And then family, your mom helped you by allowing you to use a piece of property as collateral. And then
Yeah.
relationship, you had a woman who was a banker on the board of a bank,
Yes.
and they're orchestrated for you to get this loan to finance your business. But then I also heard that God gave you favor with your first customer who agreed to prepay
Yes.
you.
Yes.
That is just an incredible story, because all it took is for you to believe, and you already had all the resources around you. Isn't that incredible?
Very incredible. Actually, one thing I also forgot to mention, sometimes when you have friends pushing you to do something, I think it's important to obey.
Yeah.
Because the same lady, now that she sits on the board, I mean, their performance are they're watched, they're tracked. They're also supposed to bring business to the to the organization, to the bank. And so at some point she insisted that I must open an account with that bank. And I said, no, I already have an account with two other banks. I don't want any other. She insisted, Patrice. She pushed me. And so I did it because she wanted me to do it. So I just used to put some money there like every month. Do you know that account that she forced me to open actually worked in my favor when I wanted a loan, because they said I was already their customer.
Look,
Yet they didn't know the story behind it. And that was 6 months later.
that is incredible. We're talking to Colleta Odero. She's the founder and president of an amazing company in Kenya, Nairobi, called Upscale Furniture Renting, that provides temporary or long-term, short-term or long-term furniture rentals to those coming in country for a short-term period, for business, for mission, or for work, for movie companies, for those who have Airbnbs who need to be able to rent their facilities for income purposes, or even people who are renting housing or whatever the case may be. And she's a biblical entrepreneur. Now, Colleta, this is, before we get into your experience with biblical entrepreneurship, she actually took biblical entrepreneurship in Kenya, one of the leading centers in Kenya. This is Women's Day, and this month is Women's Month. You are a woman, and you are born and raised in Kenya, Nairobi, Africa.
Yeah.
Obviously, the women, the picture, the image of the African woman is not often an entrepreneur, a captain of industry, a CEO. Oftentimes is a mother, a homemaker. So tell us a bit about, let's talk a bit about African women. Do you represent? Tell us a bit about the thing about African women and what's going on now, you feel, from your own experience with African women as we celebrate Women's Day and Women's Month. Is Colleta an exception, or are there more of you kind of happening in Kenya and throughout Africa?
No, there are so many of us happening. I mean, there are many of us. Things have changed, Patrice. from the times of our mothers. Actually, our mothers worked from the times of our grandmothers, that women had to stay at home and wash dishes and clean and bring up children. Things have now changed, and we have so many women in different industries, in agribusiness, in manufacturing, which used to be a male-dominated area. We have in advertisement, we have women all over doing incredible things, and the kitchen is no longer fully our place. Yes, we are women, and I mean, that is God ordained that we are supposed to cook for our husbands, for our children. But there's more to it than just being a housewife or cooking at home. And so there's so many of us coming up, there's so many women doing incredible things in different places and changing the world and impacting the community. So it's no longer the kitchen. It's no longer just staying at home for the African woman. And my prayer is that one of these fine days we will build big industries and be the Coca-Colas and Safaricom owned by a woman.
Awesome. And my mother was an African woman entrepreneur, and so
Yes.
I'm a product of the strength, the industry, and the wisdom of African women.
Your mother was an exceptional woman. She did so much.
Yes, she did. She did. Colleta, when you think about women, which women is top of mind that you say either have inspired you, have most impact you, or that you look up to, whether it's a local, international, or wherever? Which woman comes to mind? Pick one that you say, I really admire this woman. Here's why.
Um, there's several women that I can mention, but one woman that really uh, touches my life, and when I think about her and what she's been able to do, there's a lady who was in the PR industry, Gina Dean. I looked at how much she has been able to do, and what happens is that I look at it and I'm like, someday I hope that I will be able to build up an organization like what she built, and I'm looking forward to one day actually creating an opportunity to get to meet her. And the other person also, I have one person introduced me to the business network, Frida, uh, Passion to Profit. I just like the way she is so passionate about what she does, and she keeps on changing the models just to suit the SMEs in Kenya, to see that they flourish, they thrive in what they do. And so when I see women going out there so forcefully, then that gives me the courage that if I focus on my vision and mission for upscale, then I will be able to impact the society, impact the community, and create jobs and just be what God had purposed me to be.
I love it. So you mentioned two women. One of them, give me the names again.
There's Gina Dean,
Gina Dean. What does Gina Dean
and
do?
what is the name? What is the name of the? I'm trying to remember the name of the organization.
Okay, she leads an organization. Is it in Kenya?
Yes,
Okay. What does the organization do?
they're in advertisement and PR.
Okay, PR. And then you mentioned another woman. What's
Frida Owinga. Frida
Frida?
Owinga, yes,
Passion for profit.
yes. She
Well,
teaches you to turn your passion into profit.
I love it. To these two women, I want to commend you, both of you. Thank you for being an example and inspiration to the gift that we have in front of us here because of your work. Colleta is inspired to do what she does. So again, we celebrate you and all the women in Kenya and around the world.
And
So,
all the women at OWIT. I belong to an organization called uh, Organization for Women in International Trade. We have incredible women there doing incredible things in the space that they are in.
I love it. That is incredible. And my producer just sent me. Gina Dean is an East African businesswoman specializing in strategic communication, public relations in Kenya. She's best known as the founder and executive chair of Gina Dean Corporate Communication, which she started after leaving her job as communication manager at Barclays Bank of Kenya in 1997. Wow. Gina Dean, congratulations. Keep it up. And I want to commend this organization. You said Women International Women Trade Organization. Is that called?
Yes, Organization for Women in International Trade.
Wow. Thank you for all you're doing empowering women around the world. And of course, there in Kenya. Look, Colleta is a product of your hard work. Colleta, you employ how many people?
Right now, we are 7 with some part of it outsourced. We have outsourced part of the services, but we have 7 permanent staff.
Isn't it incredible that had you still been working, you would have just been taking care of yourself? Now you have 7 families that are fed and cared for because upscale furnishing exists. How did it feel, Colleta, that there was a time where you were relying on somebody else to sign your paycheck, and now you sign a paycheck of 7 people? How does that feel?
It feels great that the Lord has allowed me to actually impact other people's lives. I do not take it for granted. It feels good that, and I thank God for that opportunity to be able to touch those families and just work with them. It's a great feeling, and I thank God for it. I have incredible people. I also thank God for my staff, because for people who have been able to, who have had the opportunity to visit the organization, I mean, whether I'm there or not, they get their work done. And sometimes I look at them and I can't say it is my doing, because Patrice, before I employ, I pray about it, and whoever comes, I always believe the Lord has sent them our way. And every morning we do have, when we started, we never used to pray like every morning. We never used to have devotions. It's something that we introduced along the way. And actually, what inspired me to do that is I read in the newspaper that some touts at a bus park somewhere, that every morning they prayed before they had devotions, before they started doing their transport business. And I said, if people in a bus park, that time we used to pray once a week, only on Mondays to start the week. But then I saw that people in transport business in a bus park, the touts and the drivers, they go down and on their knees and they pray. And then one time at we have a shopping mall called Nakumatt Junction. In the morning, in the basement, I found the guards worshiping, and I said, honestly, we can't be doing this once a week. So we introduced devotions every morning. So every morning when you come to our business between 8 and 8:30, we are having devotions. We have a pastor visit us once a month to teach us the word of God and administer Holy Communion. And we just thank God for the good things that He's doing for us. Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. Again, we're talking to Colleta Odero Atieno, the founder president of Upscale Furniture Rental. It's a rental company in Kenya, Nairobi, providing furnishing for short-term or long-term stay for those moving into Kenya for business, for pleasure, for missions, as well as movie studios doing production in Kenya, as well as those in Kenya who have homes that they use for Airbnb or other rental purposes. She brings you peace of mind so that you can focus on other things that matter. Colleta, you by the way, Colleta, you have a fan. What's his name here? Collis Elvin says, "Good to see you. What you do best." She says, "Go for it, all the best." Do you know who Collins is?
That's my husband.
Oh, of course. Well, Mr. Elvis, thank you for what you do for this woman. She's represented the family well. That is incredible. So, along the way, you went through biblical entrepreneurship program with Frank Kitanga over there in Kenya. So,
Yes.
tell us about what brought you to biblical entrepreneurship and how that experience was for you.
I have done several business courses. I have done courses with the British Council, with Kenya Institute of Management. I have done courses, and even the 10,000 Women by Golden Thack at USIU. And there's none of them that is like the biblical entrepreneurship course. The fact that we introduce God in what we are doing, that it's not just about business, it's not just about money. We look at business wholesome. I mean, the fact that we come to the realization that the business, the customers, the staff is not ours. The business is not mine. The fact that I was able to have uh, to raise the capital to start the business does not make it mine. The talent, the skill that enabled me to start that business was given to me by God. And so that makes the business his, makes the customers his, the the employees. So when you get to the realization that everything belongs to God, He created us, everything that lives on earth is His, then you get to your mind is transformed, your mind is renewed. You look at it differently. You don't go just thumping and feeling like you own the whole world. You actually retreat and ask God, okay, so what are you saying? And when I mean it's a humbling experience that you are not a boss in your business. You are a servant. You are a servant to your employees. You are a servant to your customers. You're supposed to serve them. You're not managing your employees. You're managing resources and you're managing ideas. I mean, Patrice, it puts you in a place where you are humbled and you tell yourself, now, Colleta, you are handling God's work. You are a steward. So you tend to move through life with some sobriety, and you are not looking at yourself like you own it. You walk one step at a time, asking God to show you the way. And that is one thing that BE has done for me, because a lot of times we thought we are just supposed to compete. When we started by knowing who we are with identity and destiny. It helped me articulate who I am, why I am here. And then it teaches you that you're supposed to incorporate who you are in your business. So when you find yourself struggling, then there must be a disconnect somewhere with what you are doing and who you are. And so that helped me understand why I enjoy what I do, because my spiritual gift, I didn't know, I didn't know what my spiritual gift, maybe I knew, but I didn't know how to, I could not express what it was because I had not known. So I was able to learn what my spiritual gifts is, and I am a server. So the fact that I am a server makes it so easy for me to serve my clients through furniture rental. So it gives me the excitement, it gives me the drive. And so you are able to, there are people who are able to start new businesses because they realized they were struggling because what they were trying to do and who they were totally different. So it has taught me to articulate who I am and how I incorporate that into my business to make it a success.
Wow. I'm hearing kind of alignment and
Yes.
clarity.
Yeah.
So you went on to present your business plan. How was that experience having to do a business plan competition with other Christian business leaders?
Hey, Patrice, that was tough. It was tough because that was the first time I was doing that. And I'm this kind of person that I find myself easy to talk to one-on-one person, but now when I have to talk to a large crowd, I lose my words. I don't know what to say. And then I beat myself for having not said what I had planned to say. But going through that has helped me. And after that presentation, I think I can do another one, another one, and another one. So B has helped shape me and bring out the boldness that I was sitting on.
Wow, that's incredible. So I'm not going to tell you that thousands of people are watching you right now. I'm not going to tell you that so that way you're not overwhelmed. So just think, just you and I.
No, B has helped me deal with that. So I am good.
Amen. Amen. Somebody says servant leadership, love it. So you didn't stop there. You went ahead and enrolled in the Business Success Accelerator. By the way, if you want to know more about upscale furnishing, if you're watching and listening, you want to go to Upscale Furnishings with an S, that co.ke, Upscale Furnishings with an S, that co.ke. There you'll learn more about the various furnishing that Colleta has, how to contact them directly, and how to work with them to prepare your next trip or provide you with furnishings wherever you are in Kenya. You didn't stop with the biblical entrepreneurship training, but you signed up for the monthly Business Success Accelerator, which is a group coaching program. What led
Yes.
you to do that, and how's that experience been for you?
Okay, Patrice, thank you for that question. I mean, first and foremost, for me to get to be, I think it was at a time that I had made a decision that I wanted to do business ethically. And I didn't know that there was a place that could teach me biblical principles to do business. Uh, but I listened to I usually attend a lunch hour service, a fellowship in Kenya every Thursdays, and during that at home care fellowship by Reverend Judy Mbugwa, every Thursday there's a women fellowship, and I don't know how she does it, but she gets some very authentic preachers to come and preach in those lunch hour services. It is interdenominational, and it has really built me spiritually. So there was this one preacher, and that day, Patrice, I struggled to get to that fellowship because I was coming from a very busy road, but somehow I still got there after actually the service had begun. I was all contemplating not even attending, but something pushed me to go. So when I arrived, this preacher was talking about uh, doing business ethically. It was what it takes and the rewards. And he talked about how he had been rewarded uh, a contract by the World Bank, not because they were the cheapest. Actually, his organization was the most expensive, but because the governor recognized who was going to do that contract, who was him, who was going to head the project. They were given that project because the governor recognizes him as a man of integrity. So they said, we would rather use this person because he is a person of integrity. And they got that contract. And yet they had quoted the highest. then I said, yes, then I'm on the right track. Then he introduced me to an organization that encourages people to do business ethically. And that is where I met Frank. And that day during annual conference, I took my tea and I decided I'm not meeting anybody. I told God, I'm going to stand on that. There was a table that there was no one. So I went and usually you're encouraged that when you go to a place like that, you mingle with people and network. But that day I was not just in the mood, but I said a prayer. I said, Lord, whoever you want me to meet, please bring them to my table. And that is how Frank got to my table. He was the first person to get, and someone also got there. So we got to talk about what we do. And when Frank told me about BE, I said, yes, this is what I need, because my heart desired to do business ethically. But at that point, I was only praying. I didn't know that there actually, in the Bible, there's a way to do business, that there's solid teachings in BE that shows you how to do business ethically. It transforms your mind completely. And when I got into the BE, I was in the right place because that is what my heart desired. So he brought, the student was ready, so the teacher was brought. And after I did, we did the the identity and destiny, and then we did BE1, yeah, the principles of biblical entrepreneurship, and you learn about who a biblical entrepreneur is, what is biblical entrepreneurship, the character, the attitude. You set goals, and then you did a seminar on business success accelerator, and you said that coaching is essential for anyone who wants to thrive. And if we want to go, I mean, if we want to be successful, then we can't keep trying. We've got to commit to something. And so I told myself, I want to be successful. I needed to identify and focus on what was stopping us from moving to the next level, because I was feeling a bit stuck. As much as I was doing the BE, but I was feeling a bit stuck. So when you when you did the seminar on business success accelerator, I knew that is what I needed, because at business success accelerator now, what we have learned through the biblical entrepreneurship principles and then the practices now, BSA, the Business Success Accelerator, actually now has given us the insight, the tools of now to implement. Because why I say this is a different course, it's not like any other course that I've done. You know, a lot of times we do courses, we take those books, stack them in the shelf somewhere and move. But here, now, month by month, we are implementing what we learned. And that is why I joined BSA, because I needed to move to the next level. So I had already identified where the problem is, but I needed somebody to hold me accountable. I needed to be held, my hands to be held and shown, this is what you need to do. Because a lot of times we know what to do, but we don't know how to do it. So a coach actually helps you and navigates you through what to do and how to do it. And that is why I joined BSA.
Wow. And has it been worth it so far for you?
Oh, yes, it has been, because a lot of SMEs, including myself, we wake up in the morning, we start business. We do not draw any scorecards. We don't track our performance. But BSA make it practical, implement it. You have to draw a scorecard, and then you have to learn and you have to learn the skills, how to implement all this, and that is helpful.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. That is what an incredible, I just love your story and the innocence of your story and your complete devotion and trust in the Lord. There is something unique happening in Kenya. What could you help us? What is it? You guys have a great center there with Frank and the team there. The entrepreneurs I'm working with in Kenya, you guys are special, something unique about you guys. What's your sense? What's going on in Kenya that's not happening in other parts of the world?
I'm not really sure what is happening in the other side of the world, but what I know that I would talk from my class, from the classes that we've attended. Uh, we have chosen, I think it is a conviction that you decide that you want to do business in a certain way.
Mhm.
And so we have committed to it that we want to build kingdom businesses. And we have realized that when you work with your peers, when you work with people that are able to hold you accountable of what you're doing, then you find the journey easier. And so there's a way that we have connected that makes it easier for us to build our businesses and to hold each other accountable. And yes, it's just we've just connected. We've connected with each other. We have chosen to work together. We have chosen to get the best out of each other.
Wow.
So that makes the journey easier and more exciting.
There's a network of you guys that are really, carrying that load mutually for each other. Let's talk about the future of upscale. Again, we're talking to Colleta Odero Otieno. She's the president and founder of Upscale Furniture Rental. It's a rental company in Nairobi, Kenya, providing furniture rental to those who are coming from long-term or short-term stay, for those who have rental housing or Airbnb, or for those who are coming in for movie production. If you want to know more about her company, go visit her at Upscale Furnishings with an S dot co dot ke. Again, Upscale Furnishings with an S dot co dot ke. Let's talk about the future. So, when you look ahead, Colleta, 10 years from now, what do you believe in God for? What do you see for upscale rental?
Patrice, by going through BE and BSA, we are actually positioning ourselves to be the leading furniture rental in Kenya and beyond. We are looking to scaling outside Kenya into Africa. Probably, let's say, be the leading furniture rental in Kenya and Africa. Then now we can also scale to Europe. Yes, and we are looking at having our own production line, that when I walk into somebody's house, if I find a piece, I would just know this is an upscale piece. And if we didn't give it to you, then you'll have to tell us where you got it from.
Wow. I love it. So here was what I'm hearing you say. You're going to, forgive the pun, you're going to scale in other places in Africa. Did you say
Yes.
even Europe?
Yes, why not?
Why not? And you're going to have a unique line of upscale furnishing that's
Yes.
unique to you. So are you talking about manufacturing?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's incredible. As a matter of fact, there's a biblical entrepreneur in Madagascar. She has one of the largest furniture manufacturers in Madagascar. I'm going to connect you guys so that
Wow.
she's a young woman as well, and you guys, she's also she's also a biblical entrepreneur. I'm going to connect you guys so you guys can coordinate. Who knows what could happen? She could be a resource for you. That is incredible. And then that is incredible. And so, do you think in doing so there'll be an opportunity for others to invest into your company as you try to scale that level?
Oh, yes. Probably that would be my exit plan, because in my family, we are not very entrepreneurial somehow. So I'm trying to see, I was hoping that one of my nieces would be the one to take over from me, which she said yes, but she is training to be a doctor. So I don't see how that will happen. So yes, looking forward to that, because my prayer is that upscale will live beyond me.
I love it. Awesome. Before we close, I want to talk about your family a little bit, and then we're going to have you give some advice. Before we do, again, I'm talking to Colleta Odero, Otieno, the founder and president of Upscale Rental Furnishing, a furnishing rental company in Nairobi, Kenya. She provides furnishing rentals to those coming into Kenya from other parts of the world needing furnishing for short-term or long-term stay. She provides you peace of mind as enabling you to have the same comfort as you were at home, even better. She also provides it to those who have rentals in Kenya or who are part of Airbnb and do not want to have to commit the resources into furnishing. So if you want to know more about upscale rental furnishing, go to upscale furnishings with an s.co.ke, upscale furnishings with an s.co.ke. There you can learn about their furnishing, contact Colleta and her team that they may be able to help you with your needs. If you enjoy this podcast, I want you to share it, share with your friends, share with your family. You might know others who, like Colleta, business may be for them, who maybe need to be encouraged that if Colleta can do it, they can do it as well. Or you might just know individuals who need Colleta's business. They're looking for a trusted, quality furnishing rental in Kenya. Share this with them. Put in your social media feed. Also, if you want to know more about biblical entrepreneurship, the program that Colleta talked about as she went through, or the BSA, the Business Success Accelerator, visit us at NehemiahEcommunity.com, NehemiahEcommunity.com, whether you are in Kenya or anywhere around the world. And there you'll learn about our training program, how you can go through biblical entrepreneurship, identity and destiny, and other training program. Or you can learn about our coaching program, whether it's executive coaching or BSA or lead coaching. You can also learn about our Access to Capital program, how you can invest in entrepreneurs like Colleta, or even if you need capital, how we can connect you with our investors. You can also learn about how to become a member of the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community, one of the fastest growing entrepreneurship communities in the world, where we have entrepreneurs from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America, from North America, or Europe, where we are connected together and together committed to transforming the world. Also, this week, we have a seminar on March 11th on developing the gift of innovation. Do you believe that you are an innovator? Do you believe that innovation can add to your competitive edge? Sign up for the seminar and be a part. And also, if you want to know more about Nehemiah Project Kenya, I believe that the team had the Kenya office contact there. Please put that up again, team. You can contact Frankie Tanga and his team in Kenya to find out more about how you can be a part of the program in Kenya. So as we close here, Colleta, a couple of things. You have an amazing husband. So how important has your husband been to this journey?
He's an incredible man. I mean, I think he's one of the best things that has happened in my life. And for the fact that he knows God and he loves God passionately. I thought I loved God, but he does love his God. And so that makes work really easy, Patrice, because when you're married to a believer and you're a believer, then you're able to understand each other on so many things.
Wow,
So,
that is incredible. That is incredible. And he must be a secure man because he's letting his wife fulfill her full potential.
Oh, yes, he is very secure.
Well,
Yeah,
Mr. Otieno, thank you so much for what you did.
that's one thing I admire about him, Patrice.
Awesome. And I'll be in
Yes.
Kenya soon, God willing, in April. And I look forward to meeting him and seeing
Yes, you will.
and seeing and coming and seeing upscale furnishing in live and living color. Colleta, there are many people watching from all over the world. As you know, the globe has faced COVID-19. And let's speak specifically to our women. This is Women History Month, and this day is Women International Day. And there are women who may not be as blessed as you, Colleta, that may have faced, lost their businesses or their jobs. or they may have faced a downturn in their revenue. They're wondering, would 2021 be as 2020? What advice would you give them as they're believing God for a better year?
Patrice, what I would tell them is when when we were going through the BE, just before we did the business plan, we were taken through a business in the Bible. We were taken through a 3-day prayer and fasting to ask God, because that business, the business is not yours as the owner of the business. The business belongs to God. You belong to God. The customers belong to God, and He even knows who they are. But a lot of times we get into business without even knowing whether that is the area that God has called us to serve. So when you take time, what I would advise them, it may not sound like it, but if one takes time and goes to God and asks, Father, in this business that I'm doing, is it what you've called me to do? Is it what you want me to do? Because when you go through the scriptures that we used to do our business plans, to ask God if the businesses that we are doing is what He had called us to do and how He wanted us to run or build the businesses. Moses, in Exodus from 25 to 39, God took Moses through a period of fasting, and he gave him instructions on what to do, the materials to use, who to use, and how to use them. What was to be built, how it was to be built, even the sizes, even the kind of materials to be used, the people who are supposed to be engaged in service, the priests, the craftsmen. He even said he would give them the skills. So what I would advise them to do is take your time, go on a retreat, take some steps back and ask God. One, if that business that you're doing is what He has called you to do, or is it something that you're designing for yourself? Because if you are, then you will struggle and pray, and nothing is going to happen. First, ask God if that is what He has called you to do, so that He can align you to that business. And then ask Him how to go about it. Ask Him how to do it, because a lot of times you wake up in the morning because you have capital, you just start doing a business without any structure, without asking God, we just get moving. But I have realized that because when you're building a kingdom business, He will give you instructions. He will inspire you. He will give you the ideas. So go to Him, ask Him. He will show you the direction. He will even tell you to stop what you're doing if it is not what He has purposed you to do. But if He has purposed you to do it, just like when I started, He will align the right people. He will bring people, your divine connectors, to take you to the next level. And just as we had learned in BSA, Patrice, one thing that I forgot to mention that was so exciting when we were learning about relationship equity. Yeah. When God brings you the right people to work with. So ask God, pray, ask Him. He will give you direction. Do not walk alone. Invite God into what you are doing and let Him navigate you through to where He wants you to go. And if you do not know how to do that, as Patrice had said earlier, contact Nehemiah Kenya, or look for me. I will show you where to find Frank, and you'll be able to know how to invite God into your business to help you to the next level, because he's a person who has created us. He knows what is right for us. He knows his purpose for us, but we do not know. We just need to ask him. So come, we will show you how to do that as we also seek him. We still seek him. I still seek him. When I get stuck, I seek him, I ask him. Then may he give you obedience. May he give you patience, just as I also ask that he will give me patience and obedience to wait upon him, that I will not go ahead of him after asking.
Wow. Something great is happening in Nairobi. This is incredible advice. Thank you so much. What word of wisdom. Mero Pia, do you know this young lady, Mero Pino?
Oh, that is my sister.
Oh, wow. She says, good job.
I
Go for the,
know. She's
go
my
for the
sister.
stars. She
We
said,
are
I'm
we are two
here.
girls.
She said, the sky is no longer the limit. Good job. She's your younger or older sister?
She's my immediate follower. We are only two girls with three boys.
Wow.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, Sal. I can see
Wow.
there with the husband.
Wow. Good job. The girls rule. Well, so it is with you, so it also will be with Mero Opio. God bless you all. Thank you so much for
Amen.
that advice, Colleta. Thank you so much. Well, God bless you all. Let me pray for you as you heard Colleta words. If you just heed those words, I assure you this, whatever you're going through, you'll see a difference. Let us pray. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care and to steward them in such a way that one day you'll hear those wonderful words. Well done,
Yeah.
good and faithful servant. Like Colleta, you've been faithful over a few things. Guess what? He'll not make you rule over much. God bless you. Thank you for watching and listening. Colleta, thank you so much for being here. God bless.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Patrice. Thank you so much. God bless you.